Welcome to the Mastering the Game of Life podcast. In this podcast, there'll be insights around 3 key areas to mastering the game of life: purpose, prosperity, philanthropy. Your host, Paul Lowe, the third sector mentor, is the founder of Hearts Global CIC, which along with many other of his charitable commitments has been responsible for positively impacting thousands of people's lives, particularly young people from disadvantaged communities. Author of Mastering the Game of Life, From Pain to Purpose, and Speaking from Our Hearts books. Introducing your host, Paul Lowe.
Welcome, listeners, to this podcast on how to understand carbohydrates. And to help us with that, we've got Trainer John, an expert, a PT expert who knows about these things in depth, served his time in the Royal Navy as a fully fledged chef, amongst other roles. So he knows a thing or two about foods and diets and training and all that kind of stuff. So thank you very much, John Batterby, for joining us. And without further ado, it's over to you, John.
Thank you, Paul. Today I'm going to talk about the role of carbohydrates in the body. And basically, carbohydrates are one of the 3 macronutrients in everybody's diet. Carbohydrates come in various forms and are found in a wide variety of foods. Carbs are the most vital fuel source for the body and are necessary for a balanced diet. But some carbohydrate sources are healthier than others. Number 1. Carbohydrates provide immediate fuel. And what I mean by that is every cell in the human body needs glucose for fuel, especially your brain cells. Carbohydrates provide immediate fuel in the form of glucose so that your cells can carry out their functions. You get carbohydrates in many forms. Simple carbs, which include fructose, galactose, glucose and sucrose, which are rapidly digested carbs and converted to fuel. And you get these from foods like fruit, vegetable and packaged foods that have had added sugar, so they're natural sugars. Regardless of what type of sugar you ingest, your body converts it to glucose and it enters cells to meet your energy needs on a daily basis. The second part is carbs that we store for energy needed later in the day. Your daily carb intake provides fuel for later use. When your immediate fuel needs are met, the body then stores extra carbs in the form of glycogen. This form of carbohydrate plays an important role in keeping your energy levels up between meals. Since blood sugar levels must remain constant, the body converts glycogen to glucose when blood sugar levels dip. This brings blood sugar back up to normal and keeps within a tightly controlled range. Storage carbohydrate make it possible to go several hours without eating and still maintain normal blood sugars, such as overnight during sleep. So glycogen is primarily stored in the muscles and the liver. And thirdly, carbs help preserve your muscle and your strength in your muscles. So getting enough carbohydrates through your diet preserves your muscles. When immediate glucose is unavailable and stored carbs are depleted, the body breaks down the protein in muscle fibers to convert to glucose in a process known as gluconeogenesis, which basically breaks it down. It's feeding the muscles as the day goes on. While this helps meet your fuel needs, it's not the body's preferred way to get glucose. If you make a habit of skimping too much on the carbs, i.e. go all these diets, no carbs and things like that, the breakdown of your muscle for fuel can reduce your lean body mass. Therefore, you're losing weight in a bad way. Next, we're going to talk about carbs for fuel exercise performance. If you're training, you're a regular trainer to the gym or you have a personal trainer, your muscles store glycogen to provide you with fuel during sustained exercise. When you get moving and working your muscles, such as you would during, say, a 30 minutes of moderate intensity exercise, glycogen stores feed your muscles so you can perform to the maximum of your potential. Whether you're cycling, running, or simply walking briskly, your muscles need energy to keep them going. Endurance athletes commonly carb load in the days prior to competition to maximize their muscle glycogen stores, so they've got topped up with carbs throughout the body. The role of carbs in exercise performance is well recognized and can be used to your advantage. And finally, I want to talk about is choosing healthy carbohydrates. Even though your body converts all carbohydrates to glucose, the type of carbohydrate you eat is vital to your health. Getting too many carbs from added sugars is very harmful, and you're likely consuming more than you realise. Sugar is added to the majority of packaged foods, even those you don't think of as sweet, like condiments and bread. It's best to get most of your carbohydrates from fruit, vegetables and high fibre foods like whole grains. Aim to keep your added sugar intake to no more than 100 calories for women and 150 calories or less for men. So what we're going to finish with on the carbohydrate side is good carbs and bad carbs. So first of all, good carbs, vegetables. All of them. It's always best to eat a variety of vegetables every day. Whole fruits, apples, bananas, strawberries, etc. Legumes. And what we mean by legumes is lentils, kidney beans, any type of bean, peas, and so on. Nuts, almonds, walnuts, hazelnuts, and so on. Seeds, chia seeds, pumpkin seeds. Whole grains, choose your grains that are truly whole, as in pure oats, quinoa or brown rice. And finally, tubers, which are potatoes. Sweet potatoes are perfect. Finally, the bad carbs. Sugary drinks, full fizzy drinks, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and one of the most unhealthiest drinks you can drink. Fruit juices. Unfortunately, fruit juices may have similar metabolic effects as sugar-sweetened beverages, which is not good. White bread, pastries, cookies and cakes, ice creams, candies and chocolates, all bad for you. And finally, French fries and potato chips, really not good for you at all. So if you can avoid the bad carbs and stick to the good carbs, you'll carb load in a good way. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Mastering the Game of Life podcast. Drop a line to paul@paullowehearts.com with any thoughts or questions you may have, and he'll be more than happy to respond. Alternatively, check out Paul's website at paullowehearts.com or any of his social media feeds under the same name. Remember, mastering life starts by embracing our hearts.